Today we're going to be real with you. If you're not investing in yourself, you're not staying still, but unfortunately, you're staying behind. Howdy, I'm Dr. Alejandro.
And I'm Dr. Emily.
And as many of you know, we have 3 clinics on our first 3 years in practice.
If you enjoy our content, make sure you subscribe and share with your colleagues and future colleagues to get on the path to victory.
You have to understand how things are up here.
Every year that goes by, if you're not growing, you are staying behind. And the worst thing is that someone else is taking that opportunity and going ahead of you. Today, we're going to break that down in 5 to 10 minutes on how investing in yourself is going to make you grow. Example of that. If you go to church only on Sundays, you're not investing in yourself. That's an example of just going to a seminar and not taking action. It's basically just going to church on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to church on Sunday and reading the Bible, living the life that you're supposed to be, you're investing in yourself. That way you're producing the fruit. That's what we talk about, investing in yourself and taking action.
That's right. If you're not green and growing, you're ripe and rotting, right? So when we hear these old docs who are like, yeah, we just go to this adjusting seminar, we just get really good at our craft and our technique. Like, yes, you have to do that. But what about the seminars or the conferences or the people you surround yourself who are way, way ahead of you and who are crushing it in business and crushing it in their family life? And these are the kind of people you want to become or that's the lifestyle you want to live. You're not going to get there by going to the same conference and doing the same thing. You have to invest in yourself and go to things that are going to level you up. And if you don't have the resources to do that, you got to find a way to get into the room with people. Story, when we were first starting up in practice, we would meet a lot of people. We would go to networking events. And I remember we got invited to the country club one time. And you and I were like, listen, we can't afford meals at the country club. It's not going to happen. We can't even afford a country club membership. So you and I would eat sandwiches before or eat our chicken and rice that we had meal prepped. And then we would go to the country club and get an appetizer because that's the only thing that we could afford on the menu. But we still were finding a way to surround ourselves with people who were ahead of us and who were working and living the lifestyle that we wanted, because that at the end of the day is what's going to expand your mind and going to get you to grow to that level. Let
me ask you this. Investing in yourself, and you talk about not being just adjusting seminar. That's what students are used to, just adjusting seminars here and there. Is it has to be chiropractic seminars, or could it be something else to invest in yourself?
It's a really good question. No. To be honest, we know this. Chiropractors are not good at business at the end of the day. We don't learn business from other chiropractors typically. We learn business from business people and people who are investing in real estate and people who are investing in other companies. And we listen to people like Cody Sanchez and Alex Hormozy because at the end of the day, they're the experts in business. So why would we try to learn business from a chiropractor who's doing the same thing for 20 years and his practice hasn't grown, right? That doesn't make any sense. So what are some good ways that we can learn business and get in the room with people who are way beyond where we are?
Yeah, that's a great question. We just did it. And actually, it's going to contradict a little bit of your thing because it was with chiropractors. The seminar wasn't 100% chiropractors talking, but there was a lot of people, guest speakers talking. Yeah. So we went to Chiro WealthCon, and that was pretty awesome. Just talking a lot about, wealth and when is a correct moment to get into real estate. Mm-hmm. Okay, because a lot of people think, and I made that mistake of getting into the game pretty early, and that's not a passive income. There's no such thing as passive income. Yeah. So the main thing that they focus on, and it was pretty cool because they had different sources of income, but the main thing they said is the main income is the chiropractic office. That's why you should focus on that first, and that's what we were talking about, retention. 70% of your clinic is supposed to be retention. But going back to the seminar, it was cool just listening to people how they're in real estate, how they're in the buying businesses, how they're in the community businesses on social media. It's just a lot of different ways, but we need to focus first on our business if we're going to be business owners.
Optimize your practice first, because at the end of the day, that's your bread and butter. That's what's going to bring you the most finances, and it's going to obviously make you a better person. But when you invest in yourself, I think this is so key. because we talk about this all the time. If we lost the ability to practice chiropractic tomorrow, for whatever reason, whether the government shuts it down or our practice fails or something happens with our hands or our mouths, like if we lose the ability to practice tomorrow, would we be able to recover? Would we be creative enough to find a different outlet to be able to feed ourselves and bring money to the table? The answer has to be you have to invest in yourself, because if you're not doing that and you lose your only source of income, what do you have at the end of the day, right? But you and I have created and built up our skills and built up, you know, the ability to think creatively and think outside the box. And we surround ourselves with people who are not just doing chiropractic, but with people who are diversifying their portfolios.
It's like Grant Cardone, undercover billionaire. They gave him $100 in 90 days, and he had to become a millionaire, I think, with that. And like he did it in 90 days with $100 because he knew what to do.
Yeah.
But the most important thing, he took action, and that is something that I see a lot of people are not doing. And that is something I'm pretty upfront, and you know this. If I don't like you, I'm gonna let you know that I don't like you. And I'm open for people for questions and all that. But if you keep asking me questions, and the same questions, and you're not putting action, I basically put an X on you. And I'm sorry, you know, because there's as many people I can help. But if you're not helping yourself, how am I going to help you?
That's right.
You know, so I could give you all the information that you need. But if you don't go out there and and put it into action, unfortunately, I cannot help you. And that is something I see a lot of people in seminars just taking a lot of notes. But, you know, in every seminar they do the same, but they don't put it into action.
That's right.
And that is Dr. Lauren talked about this on the conference. I think it's COI, consequences of inaction, right? People always track their ROI, but she said we should track our COI, consequence of inaction, you know, because for every no, for every yes, you're saying no to something. For every no, you're saying yes to something. So that's when you need to put into action and just put your blinders on and keep going.
Yeah, so we talk about this all the time. Like for us to go to the Chiro WealthCon or to go to these conferences that are a little bit more expensive, we had to pay for the conference ticket. We had to pay for our flights to Miami. Then we had to pay your parents, or we paid for your parents to fly to watch Luca. And that was obviously like a couple $1,000s, right? But what was the cost if we didn't do all that? Because the things that we learned at this conference are invaluable. It's going to take us to the next level. It's going to allow our practice to grow and give us time and freedom and flexibility. And so if we weren't to spend and invest that money into ourselves and into the ability to travel to that conference, it would have actually cost us more in the long run.
Correct.
And that's that COI that people don't often think about. Yeah. And so my question is, like, what is maybe some things that you are not taking decision on and taking action on now? Because the more you stay stuck, you're saying no to something else that could bring you finances and freedom and the lifestyle you want. So don't stay stagnant. Don't just take notes. You have to take action.
Yeah, that's funny because in this seminar, I remember I was taking notes, and I went back to the first page of the notebook because, you know, it's the easiest to go. And I have 4 to-dos from the whole conference. And from that 4 to-dos, I did 3 already. And the 4th one is not that I don't want to do it, but I have to wait for the correct timing because that's timing purpose. And I check that notebook every day still because it doesn't matter. Like you saying yes, okay, I'm going to do this, and not doing it and putting the notebook on the side after the conference, you lost momentum. If you don't do it on the first 72 hours, you're never going to do it.
That's right.
That's how it is.
I think we get stuck in this analysis paralysis where I'm overthinking it. I took this one note. I'm taking what this doctor said, and I'm like, oh, but how could I even implement it in my clinic? I don't know if I have the people or the resources or whatever. Don't overthink it. Implement it. This is why they call it practice for chiropractors, right? Mm-hmm. Implement it, and if it sucks or if it doesn't work out, change it again in 30 days. That's the beauty of owning your own business. You have the ability to change things if you want. Now, don't go changing everything like every 10 days or whatever, but implement something. And if it works and it takes off, continue on. That's great. If it doesn't work, you have the ability to stop it, change it, modify whatever you need to modify, and then go from there. Like, yeah. I think we get stuck in this, like, oh my gosh, if I do this and it doesn't work out, then I'm going to ruin everything, and my patients aren't going to love me. They're going to leave me, and I'm not going to get any new patients.
They don't care.
Nobody cares. Try something. And if it doesn't work out, change it again in 30 days or stop doing it. Mm-hmm. It's really simple. And I think if we kind of got out of that like fear mode and we just kind of like, I don't know, go balls to the wall and just try something, throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And if it doesn't stick, change it. It's okay. It's not going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars. It will if you do in action. if you don't do it, that COI, that consequence of inaction, cost of inaction, if you don't do it, you then might be losing out, but you'll never know until you try it.
Yeah, so today's your day. Go out there, put some things into action. I recommend every morning when you wake up, write 3 things that you have to get done today, and put it into action. We have a Facebook group called Path to Victory. Feel free to join the group. We have a lot of great content there. A lot of people are sharing their mistakes and their wins, and everyone is engaging as a community. So feel free to join Path to Victory. And if you have any question, feel free to send us a message.